The Russian army is already running out of ammo. Does Russia have enough artillery to keep up the war? In terms of artillery cannons, it does. But artillery means ammunition, and there are signs. Russia is running out of it. The problem with artillery munitions is the rate of expenditure. Russia is certainly capable of restocking them, but this takes too long. At the current rate of fire, Russia's entire doctrine these days seems to rely on artillery barrages. This is not surprising. The Soviets have used the same tactics for decades. Russia also used artillery shelling in Chechnya. Theoretically, there's also air and armor support in the picture. And let's not forget naval support and missiles. All this is still being put to use by Russia, but at an increasingly diminishing rate. The reasons are multifold. The Russians have lost literally tons of hardware. They are down to using obsolete 1960s tanks. There aren't enough qualified pilots left to fly the fighter jets. No wonder they keep crashing in Russia. Helicopters, IFVs, APCs, and even trucks are being hit every day. The Black Fleet has been confined to ports. Even missile stocks are running low. The massive missile barrages of recent months have almost stopped. Ukrainian air defenses are downing more missiles than ever. Most crucially, no amount of damage can change the reality at the front. And the reality is pretty grim. Russia has pressed hundreds of thousands of untrained reservists into service. They've recruited prison inmates and even immigrants, but none of it is apparently working. In over 3 months of bitter fighting, Russia hasn't gained an inch of new territory. Instead, it has lost Kherson and most of Kharkiv Oblast. A different leader might have cut his losses and withdrawn, but Putin has painted himself into a corner. He cannot possibly back down without losing face. And the only realistic option he's got left is artillery. So the Russians are shelling Ukrainian positions and towns day and night. Their reconnaissance drones don't work when it's cold. This means no target acquisition, no proper aiming, no accuracy. Indeed, Russian guns were not very accurate in the first place. So it may take dozens of munitions just to hit something. This tactic has been relatively successful. After all, munition stocks seemed infinite, and Ukrainian forces are both outmanned and cautious. They have often retreated just to avoid casualties. But now shell hunger is setting in. Russian logistics have always been lacking. They haven't evolved one bit in the last 70 years. Shells are manufactured at a factory. Then the crates are manually loaded onto trains. The trains travel to a point nearest the front line. The crates are manually unloaded and put onto trucks. The trucks bring this cargo to a depot where it's stockpiled. Russian depots are invariably huge, concentrated around rail links. From there, shells are brought to the front line as needed. This is also done via hand-loaded trucks. This supply chain is incredibly slow and vulnerable. Ammo dumps regularly become targets for Ukrainian strikes. Secondary detonations last for hours, so there's no salvaging anything. Trucks break down and need lots of fuel. Fuel depots are organized in the exact same way. They're also easy to blow up. Finally, the factories are mostly located in remote Asian regions of Russia. Can you spot the problem?